Okay, so we are live. I am here sitting next to Ty Evans. It's taken a little while. We've had a few technical difficulties. I think we finally got it going now. We should have audio. Everything should be working. Got Ty in the beautiful Makes You Great Again hat that was made famous back in 2016.
Always.
I always think of Devin Ross after the CSU game. That was the first time I ever saw it. I was like, all right, this team might be for real in 2016, and we saw what happened. So, love the hat, Ty. Just got done. Now it's been a little while with Tim Jenkins. How did that go? How did that group session go?
It was great. I had prom last night. It was a little windy, but we came out here and we grinded. It was a good session. Okay, yeah. I mean, it was a good session. It was just a normal Sunday.
All right, so you've been working with Ty for a little over a year now, or not Ty. You've been working with Tim Jenkins for a little over a year now. Just how has that gone? How have you kind of grown as a quarterback with him?
I came to him back end of my freshman year, and I was just a skinny kid with arm talent, but I was very raw. Not very, not very technically sound, footwork and all that. So he kind of tuned me up. Made me think to that next level of comprehension. So it just kind of transformed me to an elite quarterback.
And you guys do a lot of work on and off the field, all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Film room.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of X and O stuff. Every Tuesday night we come together, do chalk talk and talk about defensive schemes, plays, all the X and O stuff that we don't see a lot of at high school, but when I go to see you and hopefully beyond that I'll see you.
And has he talked to you about the sort of mindset that you're going to need to have as a college quarterback?
Yeah, it's a definitely in games short memory. You always got to be ready for next play. You always got to be all focused. You got to be the guy that knows everything pretty much. And then off the field, it's funny because Coach Roper actually says this, but it lines up pretty much with what Jenkins says. He says it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you're not just a QB when you're on the field. You're that guy off the field in the locker room, in class, everywhere you go. You got to be that guy that everybody looks to and knows that he has everything in control, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to make one quick technical adjustment here. The stream's a little bit laggy. I'm going to see if I can fix that real fast, and then we'll get right back to it. Okay, so we should be back. Ty was talking about how Tim Jenkins is helping him prepare for going to CU. So let's go back to the way beginning when you first started. Did you know you wanted to play quarterback? You kind of seemed like that type of person.
Yeah, it definitely, I like to be in control, and my dad always told me when I was little, the QB gets the ball every play, and you're kind of the coach on the field, so that, I really grew into that, and just fit my personality so well, and seemed to work out pretty well.
Did you play any other sports growing up? What were you kind of into?
I played, every sport possible. I was always around sports. Both my parents were coaches. My sisters played club volleyball year-round. So if I wasn't at my own sporting events, I was at one of theirs. And if I wasn't at one of theirs, I was at home watching sports with my dad. It's just a very sports-focused family.
So you mentioned in a few articles that you went to some CU camps back in the day. Can you just talk a little bit about those experiences and maybe if you ever experienced a game at Folsom Field that too?
Yeah, I was, from first grade, I think was my first camp at CU when I was a little kid. I wore Peyton Manning jersey, a Colts jersey, and they'd always call me Little Peyton. I always had coaches that were players that were really good to me, and I still, remember those guys today. It's just I have a connection with Folsom. I played there, and I looked up at my dad and I said, "This is where I want to play. Boulder's where I want to be." And he said, "There's a lot of hard work that goes into it." And I was ready, and I very willing to make that the end goal.
Have you made it out to a game yet? Maybe last year or any
Yeah,
other?
I was at the USC game last year. Saw a lot of good things. They started. I noticed that first half it was kind of just like couldn't really get that momentum, and second half kind of felt our stride, but it was a little too late at that point.
So when you think of CU football, when someone says CU football, what do you think of?
First of all, we have the dopest unis in the game. Colors, everything, just so cold. But outside of that, the tradition of CU football. Going back to winning the national championship over Notre Dame, stuff like that. That's what I really think about, and running behind Ralphie. I bet it's seeing Ralphie run the field is like crazy. There's nothing else like it. I can't imagine. I can't wait to be able to run behind Ralphie.
So have you looked into the history that there is at CU? I know you talked about it in that answer, but do you watch the 30 for 30? Have you looked up old YouTube videos, anything like that?
Yeah, I watched the 30 for 30. I've talked to Coach Hagan about that stuff. I look up YouTube videos everywhere I can find, just like CU football related stuff, just to get the feel for everything. So yeah, I've definitely become more in depth with that stuff.
Bringing up Coach Hagan kind of made me laugh because it makes me feel like when I'm around the players, they don't really know how good Coach Hagan was. Do you understand how good Coach Hagan was?
Coach Hagan he was the beast. Like, it's funny because like talking to him now, he's a very humble guy, very low key, but back then he just tore it up.
So how did this 2016 season, which kind of seems like a long time from now, how did that kind of change your outlook on CU?
I think it changed everybody's outlook because CU had a rough couple of years, and there's no secret there. But CU was kind of just like, well, it was worst first,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of thing. It was everybody in the nation seeing that we can hang with the best in the nation, we can beat them too. It was us like showing that Colorado football is alive. Football, something special is happening in Boulder, and that's something that I want to be a part of.
So what was your relationship like with Arkansas? I know you committed there first and then decommitted a little bit later. So just kind of talk about what happened there.
I committed to them last summer around July. I had a great connection with the coaches. Fans were great, all that stuff. Going through this season, they didn't have the season they wanted, and didn't have the season they needed. So Coach B got fired. So I had enough time, so I wanted to reopen my options and really find the best fit for me.
You mentioned that you had a pretty good relationship with Coach Bielema. What was that relationship like, and what was he like as a head coach?
Well, he had a great relationship with my whole family. My sister plays volleyball in North Carolina, and she suffered a concussion during one of her seasons. Nobody said anything about it. I think I mentioned it to Coach Enos one time, but Coach Enos and Coach B sent my sister an Arkansas football card in the mail, just saying, get well, you're in our prayers, stuff like that. And, that just goes to show you that they really cared about my family and me as a person. And, they're really, they're just great people. I can't say enough good things about them.
You mentioned Coach Enos there. He went to Michigan very quickly and then went to Alabama after that and offered you at both schools. So what's that relationship that you have with Coach Enos like?
It's great. I love Coach Enos. We talk pretty often, and we talk about anything from how's his family going to just life in general. And he really believes in me as a quarterback, which is great. I wish he would have come to Colorado. That'd have been pretty awesome.
Do you stay in contact with Coach Bielema since he left Arkansas?
Yeah, we text, and he's out of college football. I think he's working for the New England Patriots right now. But we text, and while my recruiting was still open, I'd ask him questions about coaches that what he thought about the schools, what he thought about coaches that I was getting interested in, and it was great being able to talk to somebody that's been in college football and be able to get their opinion about what decision I wanted to make.
What is the biggest change that you've seen since you've committed? Maybe media, how people are talking to you, anything like that since you committed to CU, obviously.
A lot of everybody in Colorado, like a lot of fan support.
Mm-hmm.
It's this whole year has been weird just because like I'd never been, I don't know. It's weird because it goes from you're just another guy living your life to I get stopped in Walmart to get asked like, can I take a picture with you, like with my kid, which is great and I love it. It's been an adjustment period.
So you're gearing up next week. I believe you go to the first Elite 11 regional. How excited are you to be a part of that?
I mean, it's been that's been the next step after winning a state championship and Gatorade player, all that stuff. That was kind of the next milestone. Get to the Elite 11, make the finals, do all that stuff, and then jump back into high school again.
So CU Buffs fans know quite a bit about Elite 11 just because Blake Stenstrom went through it last year. Have you gotten to talk to Blake at all about what to expect at Elite 11?
Yeah, we talked at one of their spring ball practices, and he gave me the rundown about how the camp goes, what to expect, and all that stuff. So he helped me out.
So I wanted to ask you about Kurt Roper because he was hired as the quarterback coach, and then it was maybe a week later that you committed to see?
Like 2 weeks or something.
2 weeks, yeah. So, what was your immediate reaction when you found out that he was going to be the coach?
Well, I had gone up there when there wasn't a QB coach, and I'd talked to Coach Chev and Coach Mack about the offense, and that was kind of one of my big trips, just to get to know what they're doing offensively and where I'd fit in, and it felt like this is a great offense for me. I love Coach Chev, Coach Mack. I get along with them. We have great relationships. But like it was just a missing piece of the puzzle. Like who's gonna be that QB coach? Like I want to be able to have a good relationship with my specific coach. And then they announced Coach Roper, and he offered me at South Carolina, so we had already built a relationship, and I didn't have to spend time get to knowing him and stuff like that. It was kind of just like the stars aligning. Let's make it happen.
So you said that, did they give you any hints on who might be the quarterback coach at that time? Or?
They said that they were talking to a couple guys. They never gave me any names. But you can't really expect that from a coach.
So what was like the main difference or anything that they pointed out that they were going to be changing from Lindgren calling plays to Coach Chev now calling plays?
I think Coach Chev and Coach Lindgren had very similar offensive mindsets. So I don't think I don't think they never said specifically it would change a lot.
All right. So I wanted to open things up to questions with some of our viewers here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to appear though, because our internet connection is not great, which is one of the reasons why our stream hasn't been working. I will continue to ask questions. If we can get this thing to work, then we will take some questions from you guys, which I think it is working. So if you guys send anything, well, now we've lost a few viewers, so I don't know if we're going to get any questions. So basically just tell me what you like to do in your free time.
Okay, yeah, I'm a big movie guy. I love going out and seeing movies with my my family and my little brother. I like to spend time with my dog. I'm a big dog person, and I hang out with my little brother. That's kind of the big stuff, just normal stuff.
What's your favorite movie that has come out recently?
Black Panther. That was one of the best movies all year, in my opinion.
And then I also wanted to ask you, what kind of dog do you have, and what's its name?
Her name's Penny. She's a mutt, so we don't really know. I like to say she's one of a kind. She's my favorite part about coming home is going to see her.
Do you play video games?
Yes, big Fortnite guy.
All right, that is a fantastic topic for me, and probably any other college kid that's viewing here. Do you have any wins?
I got some solos. I mean, I got a couple solos, but more squads and duos and solos.
He's a team player type of guy.
Yeah, big team guy. But I mean, I don't play a lot. I play when I have free time and stuff like that. But it's rough to set aside time to play Fortnite in between schedules.
What are some other games?
NCAA for sure, and then
Madden at all?
Madden, Madden a little bit. Battlefield 1.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites, and that's kind of it. I don't spend a lot of time on video games.
What do you like to do when you play NCAA? Like, what specific game mode?
Build a player. I'll take like a 5'4" quarterback and try to get him as many D1 offers as he can.
So if you just recently joined, we are taking questions for Ty. If any of you guys want to
I
send.
saw one that said, "What's my favorite thing about CU?"
Oh.
And it's rough because there's so many. Probably the people. Like, you go up to CU and it's a lot different from surrounding Colorado. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of different people. So there's a lot of people that you connect with. And then I mean, on football related, that's probably my favorite thing about Boulder.
How is the people different from like other schools that you visited in other college towns?
You get people from all over. In Boulder, am I like accurate?
Oh yeah.
You get people like, it's not just like CSU. You get people from like surrounding Colorado, but Boulder, California, Texas. Like, you get West Coast people, East Coast people. There's everybody.
All right. So if no one else is going to bring up a question, I think that'll do it here with Ty Evans. I'm going to thank Ty. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for talking with the fans a little bit.
Let's go Buffs.